you going, guys? It's Oscar here. So today we're going to talk about consciousness. Consciousness is limitless, it's infinite, it's timeless, it's something that is within us. We cannot try to understand it with the rational mind. It's something that we must feel on an intuitive level, something that we must come into alignment with. Consciousness is what animates the body. Without consciousness, there is no animation. It is like, think of the body as a vessel. It's a vehicle, and then it needs fuel. It needs fuel to pretty much go forward, and that fuel is consciousness. Without consciousness, the vehicle could just not go forward. We could not experience life. Okay, so that being said, think of it as the prime conductor. Now, we know that we have energy for many different reasons, one being the central nervous system processes over an infinite amount of electrons and electrical charges and impulses. Okay, we know this because we can scan electrodes to the brain and read thought patterns through an EEG machine. We can also get a voltage meter and put it on our finger and measure our millivolts. And some research has shown that people that are depressed have a low reading from 0 to 20 millivolts to someone that's an athlete that might have over a 100 and 200 a reading on a voltage meter of millivolts. So a millivolt is just 1/1000 of a volt. So basically that pretty much says that when this electricity is flowing within our systems, we have more energy. The brain is the number one electrical conductor. The heart is the number one magnetic conductor. So together it produces an electromagnetic energy, an aura that goes around 360 degrees around your body. It's also known as chi or prana. Now, there are other research that shows that it is also known as the dynamic torus flow. Okay, and if you Google that, you'll get a whole heap of information on that. Now, what happens is that we become so conditioned in life to thinking that we identify with the mind, we identify with the person in the mirror, we identify with the roles we play in society, we identify with our licenses, the name we see, we identify with these virtual lives. I'm a lawyer, I'm an accountant, I'm a student, I'm a mother, I'm a father, that we pretty much define ourselves by external coordinates. And when we do that, we create suffering in our life because anything external is always changing. Our bodies are changing, our beliefs are changing, our thoughts are changing, our jobs are changing, our marriages are changing, everything is changing. So when we define ourselves or attach ourselves to a certain outcome and it starts to change, we create suffering. Okay, so that is pretty much the number one reason why we suffer. But once we learn to go within and connect to something that is infinite, limitless, something that has this creative intelligence, something that is pure potential, pure awareness, then we can find true happiness. Now, happiness is just a label that we give to an emotional state. One day I'm happy, I label my emotional state, reflecting how I feel, and the next day I'm sad. So inevitably when you label yourself to be happy, then you leave yourself open to be sad. And when you label yourself to be sad, you're waiting for something to make you feel happy, and it's all defined and it's all influenced by external coordinates. So you become this yo-yo going up and down life's emotional roller coaster ride, and you never truly find that true inner peace. And Eckhart Tolle says it the best when he explains that we must transcend the mind. When we perceive life through the mental screen, the veil of thought process, the noisiness, then we will always have this we'll always have this I guess egoic way of perceiving life. Like, we must truly transcend the mind to connect with something that is more in sync with our environments and our true selves, come to a alignment, a synergy with life and nature to truly feel and understand what life is truly about. And when we are so caught up and conditioned into thinking and thought process and emotional patterns, and we start to perceive life in this manner, you can, I like the analogy, and I like to explain it as we see life through the glasses of the past. So that you do not accept, or you do not experience life and let the nature of the experience be sacred. You don't let the sacred sacredness express itself. You're always trying to define everything and label everything and interpret everything and conceptualize and intellectualize about everything. And with this just comes boundaries and definitions. And when you define something, you don't let it truly express itself in its true nature. So, what we need to do, in my opinion, and it's not even a need, it's something that, if you have a yearning for more, and if you have an itch, or if you have an ancient thirst to reconnect to something that is, deep within yourself, then, you must go within and you must learn to meditate and you must understand what breath awareness is. And with this level of mind comes pure joy, pure bliss. You don't need no drugs, you don't need alcohol, you don't need any substances to feel pure bliss. Once you can direct and pretty much focus your attention. Now, your attention can be thought of as the streamline of consciousness, okay, like a light beam. Wherever the light beam shines, that's where your attention is. It might be in other people, might be in your environment, might be on your office desk, might be driving a car, might be playing your iPad, might be on the phone, but it's always pointed externally. But as soon as you can divert your attention within yourself through breath awareness and divert it away from an instrument called the brain or the mind, this is when we start being consumed by thinking. Once you divert it within yourself, you start to now connect to that magnetic alignment, to the heart, to your intuition. Upstairs is noisy, it's problematic. It's the mind can be very, very noisy. It can be depressing. It can be, it's where all the suffering exists. It's where your mind does your head in. Let's face it. I have days when my head's done in from work. Like I go to work and just everyone's energy, it's like mind pollution. But when I come home and I meditate and I direct my attention to go within myself, I start to disconnect from that noisiness, from that mental rubbish. And then when I start to go within and I start to raise that vibration and I start to feel my essence, my consciousness, it starts to rejuvenate my body, my soul. It's almost like my battery is recharging, but it's different to sleeping. When you're sleeping, you're not really breathing deeply and you're not really aware. Okay, you're kind of in sleep mode and you go from different levels from beta, alpha, theta and delta. I'll explain that in another video. But when you're meditating, you've got awareness. You no longer become the programming, the habitual self. You no longer become lost in the egoic nature and structures of the mind. You start to divert your attention. You go back into the operating system and you become consciousness, the witness, the observer. And when that happens, you can modify your behaviors, your attitudes, your perspectives. You start to become aware of your programming. And that's how your brain works. Your subconscious mind is based on programming. So when you start to shine the light, the awareness on your programming, you're no longer a victim of your programming. Now, I'll go into more detail in my other videos on exactly how the brain works and how programming works. But consciousness is infinite, it's limitless, and it's something that there is an unconditional amount that we can tap into. Now, if you have a golf ball size consciousness and you're going to go out into the world and you're going to experience life to be in a golf ball size way. If you have a consciousness the size of the ocean, that's how you're going to perceive life. Now, if you're the type of person, you go out and you can only see the mountain, you're only going to get the mountain. If you're the type of person, you go out and you can see the mountain, the ocean, the stars, the beautiful trees, and you perceive life to be like this is what you're going to get, what the mind can conceive, it can achieve. Okay, so do not define your life and do not give the framework of your life by trying to label everything. Let the nature of the experiences truly express itself. Be open, go within, start to meditate, start to really connect and feel your energy. Start to connect with something that is within you. You are perfect the way you are. You don't need to read 1,000 books. You just got to learn how to go within yourself and tap into your pure awareness. Tap into your consciousness. Tap into that which animates the body, the mind, the soul. Tap into something that is so natural, that is so connected to the universe, the cosmos, to the stars, to everyone else. And there you will find abundance of joy, happiness, and peace.